Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Block Talk episode 4. So today is all about, not really all about, but um making sure I emphasize the importance of remembering uh, what happened on 9/11 and trying our best not to forget and to remember, uh, what happened. So if you saw my post last night, I talked a little bit about my recollection of where I was. So if you didn't see that post, so I was in sixth grade. I was in PE at the time, and we were playing football. And my coach, Coach Knitt, who is actually the coach that got me into running, he called us all over, and he had us all take a knee, which wasn't outside the norm. He was a pretty not a pretty religious guy, but he was a great coach. And so he had us all take a knee, and he said, "I don't know how to say this, but there's been a terrorist attack." And as a 12-year-old, I had no idea what that meant. I mean, sure, I've heard of terrorism, but this is the first time in my little memory that I could even recall something like that happening. So later that day, rather than go to lunch, at the school I went to, the only TVs that were always on or that we had access to was in the library. So I skipped lunch, went to the library, and in this old library, hanging from the ceiling are these like old-fashioned um, little 14-inch tube TVs. And I remember there's a couple librarians and there's a couple other students that were also standing there watching. And we watched, they were playing the clips over and over again. First plane going in, second plane going in, towers collapsing. It was just kind of this continuous run, and we're like, what the heck is going on? And I remember that day hearing, well, pretty much all day, there were parents going and picking up their kids. And so it was just like this continuous stream of so and so, your parents are here to pick you up, or your parents are here to check you out. And it was just all day long. And I remember getting home that night thinking, what is happening right now? Like, are we in danger? Do I need to what's going on? And I remember that night I listened to the radio, and there were still all kinds of rumors going around. And I remember whoever was on the radio made this comment about, and just made this comment that spooked me a little bit and freaked me out. And yeah, that was my memory of 9/11. I had no idea what was going on. And I remember the next day, September 12th, it was like a switch was flipped. Everyone went from just kind of their normal lives to everyone was wearing red, white, and blue. Everyone was wearing a flag. Everyone had their flags out. Um, I remember all the kids had their parents go get them the United We Stand shirts from Old Navy, and that's what it was for the next several days. And even though that was so long ago, I think it's important to remember how we felt afterwards. In my mind, that was probably the last time that we were all truly united. We were all on the same team. It wasn't, you know, Democrats, Republicans, whoever. We were all there. We were all together. I mean, people died on our soil, and that I made a commitment to never forget that feeling. So fast forward, there's been only a handful of moments since that day where I truly felt that same feeling that I did that particular day. Nice, my neighbor's coming out now. Um, so one of those happens to be, well, both two of them happen to come from races that I didn't even run. So one of them was the 2014 Boston Marathon. So if you remember 2013, that was the year that uh, the bombings happened at the finish line. A handful of people died, and a lot of the people didn't even get to finish the race. So that following year, 2014, Meb Kufleski made it a goal uh, to go out there and race representing those 4 people who died. And I remember watching that race. I don't remember where I was at. 2014, I was in college, so I was probably either at my house or campus or something. But I remember watching that race unfold, and he was wearing his red, white, and blue, and he had the names of the victims on his bib. And even though it's like an international race, there were so many people that were there uh, supporting him. When they saw him representing the red, white, and blue, that was their fan favorite. And I remember watching those last few miles. They uh, the second and third and fourth place people started to fall back, and Meb started to move forward. And it was like the crowd, the chants of USA got louder and louder and louder. And I'll never forget watching him make those final few turns, especially that last left-hand turn. And he could see the finish line. He was there in first, and you can just see like the emotion of the crowd, and you can see everyone waving their flags. And as Meb crossed the finish line, he put his arms out, and he immediately, he fell to the ground and was just so emotional because he did it. And he, it was incredible. It was this incredible moving moment. I remember watching that, and it was hard not to like root against the other guys, but at the same time, it was like, this was for Meb. Meb deserved this. He did it for all of us. And that was such an incredible feeling. The second race is even more so in my mind. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick. But the second race was even more memorable. So it was the 2016 Olympic Marathon Trials. And if you remember, that was Galen Rupp's marathon debut. He was the heavy favorite, but also there was some question about what he would do. And then it was pretty much wide open after that. In that particular race, Galen and the group were packed for quite a while, and then Galen made a move, pulled ahead, ended up winning. Meb and tried to hang on, and he came in second. So then third place was there was a battle for third place. There was Luke Piskedra, there was Jared Ward, Scott Fauble was there. There's a number of these big, not really new to marathon, but names that hadn't really made their footing into the marathon world. And I remember the cameras couldn't figure out where the third place person was, and they were going back and forth. I'm trying to figure out where it was. They were, flipping back to the leader, or back to Rupp and back to Meb, and they finally found the third place, and it was Jared Ward. I remember watching him coming to the finish, because he is my favorite runner. Jared Ward is my favorite runner. So Jared, I don't think you'll see this, but if you do, you're my favorite runner. But I remember watching him come down that finishing chute, and I remember becoming so emotional because it was like my team had won. That we'd finally triumphed. Man, I can't even put words into my mouth right now. But yeah, that was an incredible feeling. And so on today as 9/11, I encourage you all to remember the feelings that you had, if hopefully you were alive in 9/11. But if you weren't, ask someone who was, talk to them, remember what it means to be a member of this country. I know there's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of tumultuous noise here and there, but just remember that we are citizens of this great country, and we should always strive our best to represent that. So just wanted to share this with you guys. I hope you guys have a great day today. Happy Friday. I know I rambled for quite a bit, so I don't even know if this makes any sense. But have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time.